Hi my friends, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Hope y'all having a great day. Today I'm going to be doing two cards, what I'm going to be calling One Layer Wonders, the Rainbow Edition. And I'm going to be using this stamp set here from Altenew called Halftone Circles, as well as this one here from Concord 9th called Fill in Phrases. And I've also got my Distress Oxide inks. And I went ahead and laid down all of the circles that I wanted to use, the sizes and the placement, onto a piece of white color cards or white cardstock. This is just a one layer card, so this is going to be my card base. And I'm going to be just taking each circle onto an acrylic block, and I'm going to stamp these down in rainbow order with my Distress Oxide inks. Anytime that I do one layers, I like to think of ways because since it is for one, it's a one layer because you can't add dimension onto your card. So you try to figure out ways to make the whole entire design pop. So whenever I think of that, I always like to do, my go-to is to do it in like rainbow order. So that's what we're doing today. And sometimes you don't have time to dedicate a whole lot of time to create, complicated cards. Sometimes you just have time to just sit down for maybe 15-20 minutes, if that, to create a card to get it out the door if you need one really fast. So I really like to do these things like this, kind of think of ways to do one layers. Of course, it's also easy to mail, obviously, because you don't have the bulkiness of all that other dimension, although I love my dimensional cards, but sometimes we just don't have the time to dedicate to those more involved ways to create a card. So I'm just taking each of my Distress Oxide inks, the colors that I chose, in rainbow order, and very simple stamping, very basic technique. And I think it's really nice to have a rainbow color card like this. It just makes me happy. I hope it makes you happy too, because it's very simple, but it's rainbow. So, and anytime that I do rainbow cards, I also like to do my sentiments in black, because it makes that's that contrast between the color, all the color that you have with the rainbow against the black sentiment. So that's really my go-to color combination when I do both of these together. So, and I love big sentiments like this, and Concord 9th has really knocked it out of the park with this one stamp set with all these wonderful sentiments, and it's very different with the font and everything. So I'm stamping this down onto my Misty because I'm going to be doing it twice, and I knew I would be, so that's why I got my Misty out. And I'm stamping it down with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. It's one of my favorite inks for sentiments. And I'm going to make sure I get that good and covered once more and stamp that down. It stamped down pretty well the first time, but if we all have a Misty or a stamp positioning tool like this, you know that if you can get it a little bit blacker or a little bit more sharper, then you're going to do that. So I've created another card here. I got the first one done, and I thought since it's so simple and it does get you, stamped down really quickly, I went ahead and created another one using just some of the elements from that one stamp set from Concord 9th. So they've got this flower image in here, and I thought it would be fun to kind of reverse it a little bit. So unexpectedly, I'm going to stamp this flower here in black, and it's kind of going to look like a silhouette image. That's what I was kind of going for. So I'm going to ink it up one more time. I didn't get just a little bit toward the bottom middle there. It didn't stamp down as crisp as I'd like it. So that's why I'm stamping it one more time in that black ink. And then I'm going to add the little stem here. I debated on whether or not to add the leaves, and you could leave them off if you wanted to, or obviously stamp them. I think it looks good either way. And so I'm going to stamp that down. That was pretty simple to do. And then I'm going to get my sentiment. This is the one that says "Get Your Happy On." And I'm going to actually stamp this one in the rainbow order. And I did switch out from the fired brick color to the worn lipstick color. So I'm going to add it's like I'm going to represent the red color for my pink color. And I'm going to take my ink pads here and just stamp them all the way down in rainbow order. Now, if you've got Distress Oxide inks, you know that this is obviously different from Distress inks. There's multiple videos on these inks now, And so if you do kind of overlap your colors here, you're going to get a little bit of the ink onto your pad. But I think you could, easily take that ink off that you got onto that ink pad and just kind of take it and take your pad against some like scratch paper or something, and I think it would be totally fine. So just keep that in mind. So if you try to do something like this, you will get color on your ink pad, but I think you can easily just remove it by just wiping it off onto a scratch piece of paper. So I've got that all inked up the way that I wanted it, and I'm going to stamp this down. And you will notice that whenever I remove my door here, that my R did not ink up, enough with enough ink. So I'm just going to go back in with that color here that I used. I believe this is the orange color. And I'm going to just re-ink that portion right there. Very, very simple, and stamp that down, and that will make it totally better and complete. So, and then I wanted to add just a little bit dimension, or detail rather, to my flower, and they've got this extra image in there to do that with. And I thought it would be neat to just add some white pigment ink, and any white pigment ink that you have, you can do that with. And to bump up the shine on these cards, I added some Sukaneko Shimmer Spritz. This is my favorite Shimmer Spritz. I'm going to turn on my little flashlight here on my phone, and you can see all that beautiful shimmer. And this also adds to the whole world design of your one layer, and it just makes it's something very, very simple, but it makes it that much more pleasing to the eye, and it's so beautiful in real life. So that completes our cards for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, just to get ideas for these one layer cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you on my next video. Bye-bye.